Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Talk Fort Dodge with Todd and Jeremiah. We're here today to tell you a little bit about what's going on in Fort Dodge and hopefully make this a series. So Jeremiah, why don't you kick it off and tell us about yourself?
All right, I'm going to go back. The history of me and Fort Dodge is I was born here, born in 81, and at Trinity Regional Hospital. This will be a really long story about me if I keep going at this pace.
It was a cloudy day in 81.
But anyway, I went to school. I went to St. Edmunds. I had a paper route. I worked at Fairway. And what else did I do back then? Doesn't matter. But I graduated from St. Edmunds in 2000. And my dad owned a restaurant, owned the Cellar restaurant. And I went to work out there as a host and then dishwasher. And I had to do cook, bartending, waiting tables. I did it all. It was fun. And then we did the country club. My dad took the contract over there, and that was my first chance to manage something. And we went from 3 dinners a night to 35, and that was exciting.
That's good.
And I graduated from Buena Vista here in Fort Dodge with a minor in psychology and a business degree. But then I went to, I opened my own restaurant with my dad, and things were kind of going south there. And I'm an open book. So I just tell it how it is, and I learned a lot. It was fun. I love people, and I loved the restaurant business. But there was a time period where I did not, and things went south. There was nothing we could do, and had a bankruptcy and all that. And then anyway, things got better. I got back into real estate with Jim Kesterson because I listed the property at first with him, and he said, "This is what you should do." And I was like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, get it on.
Yeah, and I don't miss the restaurant at all, but I do miss the regulars. There's a lot of good people that still this day. It's I remember what they drink and what they eat, and sometimes we don't even know what their names are. But it's
that's steak, rare,
yeah,
side of potatoes.
Yeah, that's a Southern Comfort Manhattan guy.
There you go.
Todd, what about you? What's your history with Fort Dodge?
I actually was not born here. I moved here in 1980 in second grade. That shows I'm a little older than Jeremiah. From Charles City, went to Fort Dodge Senior High, graduated. Once again, I'm an open book. In 1991, found out I was going to be a dad, which was the same year I graduated. So I joined the Army. And when the drill sergeant said, "McCubbin, why'd you join the Army?" You're supposed to say to kill, drill sergeant. And I said, because I was hungry, because I had to eat and I had a family to feed. So after graduating high school, went to Iowa Central for a brief little bit, dropped out, ended up going into the Army to feed a small family. Then I had another little girl. So I had a boy and a girl, got out of the Army, went to work at the prison. While at the prison, I was upset because I wasn't moving up the ranks. And I talked to the warden and I said, "What do I have to do?" He said, "Well, go back to school. Nobody else here has a degree." So I went back to Iowa Central, finished Iowa Central, went to Buena Vista, finished my bachelor's in psychology with a minor in law enforcement at Buena Vista. And that wasn't good enough for me because it's never good enough. So I continued on and got my master's in counseling and was a counselor at the prison for a couple of years before I got the opportunity to go and start my own business. So started Fort Frenzy with family, later started Shiny Top Brewing, and thought, you know what, I do a lot with real estate. I've been buying a lot with real estate. I understand the process. So decided to get my real estate license for 2 reasons. 1, I enjoy the process, and 2, I just love talking to people. So love communicating, love listening, love, finding out what people want to do, how they want to, what they want out of life, and just enjoy doing that. So it's kind of the story of Todd. I went from kind of a screw up in 1991 and, joined the Army, turned things around, and decided, nothing, it's never good enough. I'm always motivated, always want to grow, always want to get bigger, and want to help other people get there and do the same thing. So yeah, that's the brief story of Todd. Probably more than I tell most people, but that's what it is. So I got a question for you, Jeremiah.
Bring it on.
Why do you love real estate? Why do you love being a realtor?
Well, I love it because it doesn't matter what price range you're working with. You know, everybody has their different needs and their different wants that they need or want. And it's fun for me to be able to help them get what they need and want. And, you know, a lot of people think you just show a house and you sell it and you're done. Well, there's a lot that goes behind them. You know, you got to learn how to figure out how to pay off their liens and judgments. And, you know, we're not going to go into the ins and outs of real estate, but it's fun to be professional and fun and get people where they need to be. And like you said, that drive, my wife and I have always had the drive to succeed, and service is everything. And I go back to my restaurant days, is I would give everybody the best service I possibly could. You know, I didn't want anyone to not have that drink in front of them. That came right into real estate for me. Is it bothers me when people aren't as happy as they should be or could be. I always want to be completely forward with them, stating, you know, if I got a listing, I like to tell them ahead of time what it's actually worth and not what someone wants to tell them, you know. As a professional, that's what we do, you know, and that's what our company does. Is sometimes we don't tell people what they want to hear. We tell them what they need to hear.
Even if it's a listing, because that's cost me listings before telling people that their house isn't worth what they say.
Yeah.
And be honest.
And I enjoy it. And I like to break down the walls, and sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's not, but I love it because I'm a people person and I like to talk to people and help fix their problems as a problem solver.
Yep.
I'm going to throw that same question back to you. I hope I answered it.
Yeah, I think you did too. I get it. And, you know, I have to agree. It's a lot the same thing. I love helping people. It's funny. Somebody will call and say, hey, I need somebody to do this. And I'm like, I have 3 names in my phone. Which one do you want? There's a friend the other day called and says, hey, I was at your house and you got the slide outs in your pantry. Who did that? And I'm like, oh, Tim did. Here's the cell phone number. Give him a call. He'll do it for you. Hey, you know, my car needs fixed. Well, hey, I got 2 guys. You can call Dave. You can call Jack. You can call JD. You can call, you know, I got 4 or 5 people. And, you know, I don't stick to one person. You know, I give everybody an option. You know, this is who I use. I use 3 of them. I have 5 electricians, 3 plumbers I use regularly. You know, so I always have those people. I can tell you what they're good at, what they're not. And I love passing that on to other people. To say, hey, you know what? This is the guy you want to call. This is the guy you want to talk to. I love fixing problems. Being a realtor is a tough job.
It is.
1 in every 100 is simple. The rest of them, you earn it because there's always something that comes up. There's always communication. There's always something that's going to get missed if you don't do it all the time. So I love having that resource for people. I love helping people, and that's yeah, that's it. I hope I answered that question too.
You did.
Awesome.
You did. So moving forward, this show that we're going to do is going to be all about Fort Dodge. It's going to be about real estate, but it's also going to be why we love our community. And Todd and I both, I mean, you serve on a lot of boards. I serve on a number of boards. And the reason we do that is because we want the community to get stronger and better, and anything that we can do, we want to do.
Yep.
Even if it's just like a little thing that we can do to get people to come to Fort Dodge or whatever.
Every drop in a bucket's a drop in a bucket. So you raise the water level 1 drop at a time, and we're hoping this helps do that. So.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I think that's good enough for our first live stream.
Okay. Game on.
Game on.
So, next time we'll start having topics, and we'll start talking about some real interesting stuff instead of our boring histories.
Yeah, we had to get this out there so you knew who you were talking to. So, all right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.